Hi, you're watching On the Town, and welcome back to another episode. It's going to be a great show for you. We have a wonderful jazz singer who has done something very unique in the music world, fusing jazz with hymnals. I mean, just very talented singer. We're going to be welcoming Cheryl in song. And like I said before, you're going to be able to experience her live. So just don't go anywhere because we're definitely going to hear her singing. But in the meantime, I wanted to let you know there's a lot going on in the news, so much stuff. Like I didn't even know where to go today with this because there's just so many things going on. First up, did you hear about the female Indonesian students? They were barred from graduating if they failed a virginity test. I just was curious, like, who's going to find out and how are they going to find out if that's really true? And, you know, how unfair that, like, the guys don't get those kind of tests. So also, in the news, did you hear about the Iowa teacher? She was charged with drinking beer in her classroom. Oh, what is going on with these teachers? But then again, I heard that is the only way that she was able to deal with teaching Bebe's kids. So, you know, got to do what you got to do in the classroom. And also in the news, you see Kanye West. Yes, we're not even going to go there, what he did in the Grammys again. But this time, he's really did himself. He's bought little Northwest, he designed a bulletproof vest for North. I hear he's working on a chastity belt next. Anyway, and I'm sure you've all heard about the man who kept the quarter pounder with cheese in his house for 20 years. I just hope he held the lettuce because it doesn't hold up well for 20 years. But anyway, so like I said before, we have a great show for you. And we'd like for you to welcome our artist of the evening, Cheryl. Please, welcome to On the Town.
Thanks, Tanya. I'm glad to be here.
So you've been singing for a while. Thank you very much. Yes, she's that great. You've been singing for a while. And, you know, tell me, how long have you been inspired by jazz and what started you into singing?
I've been singing since I was knee-high to a Beatle, I guess you'd say. And I've always had music in my bones, but I've done the practical thing and studied first marine biology, of all things.
Wow.
I worked in the science field for a while, taught a little bit, and then I actually completed a degree in marketing, an MBA in marketing, before I finally decided, okay, I'm going to try what they say. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And I decided to switch to music.
Wow.
So,
and so with the marine biology background, I'm trying to figure out how you was able to hear all these fusions in your head to be able to create the kind of music that you do. It's very unique.
well, I grew up in the rural areas of Jamaica. Very picturesque, yes. Spent a lot of time on the beaches. So I guess that time of reflection it works into your bones, into your soul.
Nice.
And I've always loved, you know, the great jazz artists, Nat King Cole, Ella Fitzgerald. I love the music written by Edna Bez. I love our own Bob Marley.
Oh, Bob Marley, yes.
So I've really done a fusion of all of those. And we had a revered comedian in Jamaica, Louise Bennett, who has since gone on. But Louise Bennett wrote a lot of what we call Caribbean folk. But of course, because it was penned in her lifetime, it's not classically called folk. But she was an amazing comedian and wrote a lot of music that I still perform.
Really?
Some of her Caribbean folk, yeah, a fusion of that along with jazz and along with inspirational music. I just think as long as it's uplifting, I like to do it.
Now, how about the hymnal parts? How did you did you go to church or, you know?
I grew up in the church and always loved the lyrical mastery of these hymns, the majesty of it. But I felt that persons weren't being able to relate to them because they weren't contemporary anymore. So what I did was I did a collection of contemporized hymns. For some of them I changed the music, actually rewrote the music. And for others we just adjusted the rhythm a little. I worked with my producer John Williams in Jamaica. Not the US John Williams, the Jamaica John Williams. a very talented, very gifted musician and producer.
So you went to Jamaica to record?
We did some of it in Jamaica, yes, and some of it I did here. We've really learned how to work transnationally together. So it was a challenging project, but a very, very fulfilling project. I'm really happy with how it turned out.
So before we get to you singing, what are some of are there any artists today that you really like, or what do you think of today's music? You know?
Lyrically, I think we've kind of lost our way. There's very little of the lyrical content of today's music that I really admire. And that's why I think sometimes our 70s music has such prominence for so many of us, because the lyrics of that genre, that time period of music were really amazing. You know, people took the time to think about what they were saying and, you know, to work life into the music.
Right, exactly.
And I find that it's not happening a lot these days.
Yes. What do you think about, well, what did you think about Amy Winehouse when she was around?
Well, there are some contemporary singers who wrote from the depths of what they had, you know, what they felt. It's unfortunate that a lot of what they had was not positive, it wasn't uplifting. Because you'd like to be able to use your music to transition you from the dark into something with a little more hope, you know, so that the music itself can transcend your audience into a place of hopefulness. But a lot of it remained very dark, I found, in you know, writers like Amy, unfortunately.
Yes, actually a lot of the music I'm hearing now is, I was listening to radio the other day and I heard about 6 songs back to back that were paying homage to strippers, basically. And I was like, what happened to, can we like go to something a little bit more classical or something, I don't know, something that means something? I
went to a high school band concert recently and I was a little taken aback at the, you know, like you said, song after song after song, they talked about what was going on in their heart, but it was all negative. It was all very dreary, very hopeless, you know, and there is nothing about it. I really thought that perhaps the music teachers should have chosen a little more carefully to help their students to also embrace some of the hopefulness that can come out of your music and your foray into music.
Yes, well, your music certainly has a lot of hopefulness in it. It's very uplifting, inspiring.
Thank you.
And I want to know, would you be able to do a couple of songs for us today?
I'd love to.
What's the 2 songs that you're going to do?
I'm going to share one from the Collective of Hymns,
okay, the
which
Collective
is
this one.
Yeah, God is Real. On that one, I actually rewrote the music.
Okay.
So the melody is rewritten, and the rhythm, of course, you'll hear is very contemporized. Okay. It may not even be recognizable. And then I'm going to share my version of Straighten Up and Fly Right, which is a Nat King Cole classic.
Okay, Nat King Cole. We love Nat King Cole. That is brilliant. How did you come up with that?
Straighten Up and Fly Right?
Yeah.
We just threw a little difference into the beginning. Instead of singing the beginning, it's chanted. Okay. You
so
know,
good.
And then some of the ad-libs are incorporating Caribbean rhythms.
And see, I hear a lot of that in the music, and I was very impressed when I heard you at the Bean Runner.
Oh, thank you
nice.
so much.
Very nice. So you'll do a couple of selections for us.
I'd love to.
Dennis, are we ready to have Cheryl sing for us? And so as you know, people, A Taste of Jazz is one of the albums by Cheryl, and then there's Cheryl in Hymns. So if you want to be inspired and hear really good music, really positive music, inspirational, very uplifting to the soul, and as she says, delighting the senses with music. That's one of the quotes I heard her say on one of her not on the album, but I saw something like that on the Facebook. So singing from her latest debut album, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Cheryl.
There are some things I may not know. There are some places sure of this one thing. God is real, for I feel him within. Yes, God is real, real, real. I feel him in my soul. Yes, God is real. He washed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. God is real. I feel him deep down in my soul. Deep down in my soul. Some folks may doubt, some folks may scorn. All can desert and leave me all alone. But as for me, I'll take God's part. For God is real, I feel him in my heart. Yes, God is real, real, real. I feel him in my soul. Yes, God is real. He washed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. God is real. I feel him deep down in my soul. Deep down in my soul. I cannot tell just how you felt when Jesus took your sins away. But for me since that day, since then our God's been real. For I feel his holy power. I feel his holy power. Yes, my God is real, real, real. I feel him in my soul. God is real. He washed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. God is real. I feel it deep down in my soul. My God is real, real, real. I feel him in my soul. God is real. He washed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. God is real. I feel it deep down in my soul. Deep down in my soul. Deep down in my soul. God is real, real in my soul. God is real, he washed and made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. God is real, for I can feel him in my soul. I feel him in my soul. You may say you do not believe, but I know you feel him deep down in your soul. Deep down in your soul. You may say you do not believe, but I know you feel him deep down in your soul. Deep down in your soul. You feel him deep down. You feel him deep down. You feel him deep down. Deep down in your soul. Deep down in your soul. Deep down in your soul.
That's very nice.
Thank you, studio audience.
Thank you. Nice.
And I'm just going to share another. It's an audience favorite from my debut album, Straighten Up and Fly Right. A buzzer took a monkey for a ride in the air. The monkey thought everything was on the square. The buzzer tried to throw that monkey off his back. The monkey turned around and said, "Now listen, Jack. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up use of jiving. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. The buzzer told the monkey you are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free. The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, your song is so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Straight down, don't you blow your top. Cool down, Papa, don't 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 blow your top. The buzzer told the monkey you are choking me. Release your hold and I will set you free. The monkey looked the buzzard right dead in the eye and said, your story's so touching, it sounds just like a lie. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and stay right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. Cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. Cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. Cool down, cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. Cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. Cool down, cool down, Papa, don't blow your top. You better cool down, you better cool down. You better cool down, you better cool down. You better cool down, you better cool down. You better cool down, Papa. You better cool down, you better cool down. You better cool down, you better cool down. You better cool down, you better cool down. Cool down.
Lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. That was Sherilyn's song, and she was singing from her lovely debut album. She also has an EP, and basically, that was brilliant. That was very brilliant. We really appreciate you singing that for us. So the songs you just sung were from one from each album. Did you do?
Yes, the second song I did, Straighten Up and Fly Right, is one of the jazz classics, and it's on the debut EP that I did, A Taste of Jazz. And the first song I did, God Is Real, was my contemporized version of a very well-known hymn.
Yes, I was going to say, I know that hymn in a little different version than
You
that.
recognize the lyrics,
Yes.
but the music is completely different. I rewrote
Brilliant.
the music on that one.
Wow,
So,
brilliant.
and
You write the music too?
I rewrote the music on God Is Real.
Okay, but you kept the lyrics.
Actually kept the lyrics.
Okay.
But the music is actually copyrighted to me.
Very nice.
Yeah, so we
Very
wrote
nice.
music on that. It was a fun project, and I think
seems
it turned
like
out well.
That was it was a fun song.
Thanks,
And
thanks.
it's actually, it reminded me of something else I heard too, but that was really, I just can't see how you made that transition in your head from a hymn to jazz to pick it up and bring it to something else, which is brilliant.
Well, jazz is such a beautiful medium. It really accommodates itself to such a range of lyrical content that it's really just amazing to work with jazz. I love doing jazz fused with reggae, fused with, you know, or calypso, mento, other Caribbean rhythms. It's really an amazing genre to work with. Very
Who's your
flexible.
favorite jazz artist, you said?
Nat King Cole.
Oh, yes.
Bar none. Bar none.
Definitely, definitely. I'm trying to think. So your start in music, how did you actually like really get started? Like someone helped you, or
I
you?
studied classical piano in high school.
So you play piano as well?
I actually am a church pianist.
Ah, see, my mother was a minister. And one of my brothers was an organist.
Oh, wonderful. Well, my dad played, and my mom too a little. But my dad played for church.
Okay.
I studied classical piano in high school, actually did the Royal Schools of Music exams up to grade 7. And I play for a church locally. And that's one of my jobs now in music. I also direct a choir. I've been directing teams really for many, many years. I've directed theatrical and other music performing teams, written music for
What's your
plays.
favorite? To sing it, write it, or perform it, or direct?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything. I love it all. I love it all. I really prefer to write than to sing, to be honest. But everything. I think the most important thing is to get out what's inside you. And, you know, that uniqueness is what's important to contribute to the world before we leave it.
Absolutely. And you definitely showed a uniqueness. I just love the way you fuse it all together so nicely.
Thanks.
What has been the hardest part of singing?
Sometimes switching from one genre to the next has not been easy.
Right.
And I like to do them all. I've never really wanted to be pigeonholed as a jazz singer only or an inspirational singer only. I like to do a combination of jazz, Caribbean rhythms, and inspirational. So sometimes the different styles make it a little bit difficult to shift your voice.
Right.
So it's a little difficult transition in one show to do that, but it's fun.
Okay. And what, as far as like, you know, with all the new mediums now, with Twitter and Instagram, you really don't need a record label anymore. What would you prefer, independent or big label like Sony?
I prefer independent because then it gives me the flexibility to do what I think I need to be doing at that moment in time. When you hand over to a big label, I find that they tend to want to direct according to what is commercially profitable, and that may not necessarily be what suits you musically, artistically.
Absolutely.
So it's a difficult thing.
I was going to ask you, would you ever do a pop song?
Oh, sure. I've done many.
Oh, okay.
I've done many. I've done a lot of Bob Marley songs, love songs. I've done a full range.
Jimmy Cliff? Any Jimmy Cliff?
A little bit of Jimmy Cliff, yes. Jimmy Cliff's music is less well known than Bob.
Okay.
And Jimmy wrote
fewer
reggae. Jimmy wrote a lot more ballads. And I like to do Bob because the reggae rhythm is very well known, so it's easy to slip into that.
Right.
It's a little harder to carry a ballad that isn't well known.
Did you ever meet somebody like Bob Marley?
Didn't meet Bob before he passed, no. But I have worked with many of the top artists in Jamaica.
Okay.
We have many of the top artists in Jamaica. I've worked with them in former professions.
Okay. I'm trying to think, are there a lot of recording studios in Jamaica?
Oh yes, very many. Bob Marley's original studio is still there, Tough Gong.
Okay.
So they still do they're still one of the most popular sites for pressing music. And they still, of course, have a lot of artists for whom they market. And there are a lot of others that are also springing up too. Jamaica is a very fertile place for music.
Oh, I know.
Music and for sprinters.
That's right. And good food.
And great food,
Great food. And what else have you been doing in the singing world? Anything you want to tell us about and share with us?
Well, I've been doing a program we call Jazz with a Spirit. We've been doing that locally in Peekskill.
Now, Jazz with a Spirit, tell us about this.
Jazz with a Spirit is a program intended for mixed audiences. Whether or not you're a churchgoer, it's a fabulous place to come and sit and just shoot the breeze with a couple of friends. It's a social occasion. And we, like I said, I really believe music is intended to uplift us. So we try to make sure that you're uplifted before you leave.
Right.
But it's a very casual atmosphere. We do non-religious music as well as some inspirational music. I love to do my Caribbean rhythms, so usually there are a couple of folk songs thrown in there somewhere, a little Harry Belafonte and some others.
Yes.
And we just have fun time. We nibble a little bit. It's a very extended intermission. So it gives us a chance to interact, talk with each other. And then we, share the music, share, some uplifting story that someone has experienced, and then we leave,
Nice.
So it's a very brief evening, but it's a very meaningful evening. And a lot of persons have spoken very highly of the impact it has had on their lives.
Very
So we'd
nice.
like to continue to do that.
Okay, and what days is that on?
That's the third Friday in each month,
Okay.
and it's at Selleck Hall, 1040 Main Street in Peekskill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Any other new adventures?
Well, I've been invited down to Maryland for a friend for Good Friday to share some of my contemporaries hymns for them. It's a hymn sing-along that they have every Good Friday, and they'd like me to share some of the contemporaries versions that I have
Nice.
this year. So we'll be going on to share some of that.
Nice. I'd like to hear a contemporary version of Father Along Will.
Okay.
Remember that song?
Yes.
Father Along Will, understand it better by and by.
Oh, yes, that's a beautiful
Yeah, there's a
song.
different way to sing it, depending if you're singing it Protestant or you're singing it Baptist. So I would
And
love
the
to
lyrics
hear
may
you do-
change slightly too.
in the lyrics. Oh, well, that's true. That's very true. But it's amazing how you can pick up a hymn book, and everyone's interpretation could be so different.
Oh, yes, it
Like,
can be.
it's just
It
amazing.
can be.
And when now you just threw a whole nother spin on it.
Uh-huh.
To I was like, I know that song. That was this is a very
Yeah, the
known
lyrics
hymn.
do change, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
clever.
an interesting story behind It Is Well With My Soul,
Oh, I love
that
that.
hymn. It was actually written by a gentleman who was not a preacher, and his wife had taken a boating trip to transport their daughters across the Atlantic, and there was an accident,
Oh.
and all his 4 daughters died, and his wife alone was left alive. And when she sent him news of the accident, he penned the lyrics of that song.
Really?
And that, yes, It Is Well With My Soul. That was such a fabulous, that's faith.
That is amazing.
That's faith in the midst of distress.
Wow.
But that
is-
really is a test of faith.
And you-
That's hymns.
And you've done
And
that
that's
song.
the beauty of that majesty. Yes, we have.
That's a beautiful song. I've heard that in many forms, but it always touches the soul.
Yes,
And
it
now to
does.
hear the meaning behind it. I know most of the hymns have a meaning behind it, but that's brilliant to hear that. And so where else can we see? Can we see you anywhere recently or coming up anytime soon?
Well, if you check my website,
Okay.
there'd
Yes,
be
we're gonna
other
put that
things
up there.
there. Yes, website has, they track other things. I usually give a little synopsis of events that I've had
Okay.
and so on. And of course, we share a little bit of our process for our next recording or our next project.
Nice.
So that's SherylynSong.com. Is it okay
Yes.
to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that?
Well, we'll put it up on the screen as well.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Cheryl, you can say it again, Cheryl.
SherylynSong.com is the website.
Okay.
So please, you're welcome to check that. And of course, Facebook is Sherilyn Song.
Yes.
So-
And
Hi
so
everyone,
that's
I'm
great.
Cheryl.
We're gonna
Welcome to A Taste
have our
of
viewers
Jazz,
check out
a collection
Cheryl
of
and
some of my
hymns
favorite jazz
and
pieces.
Cheryl, A Taste of
Most
Jazz
of us have
as
been
well.
through a breakup where your circle of movement becomes
We
very
hope that
restricted.
you will be able to check out her
Well,
music because
this is
if you
don't
want to hear
sound
something
much
really amazing,
anymore.
folks, great fusion. I mean, really great fusion. It's been a while since I've heard something so clever and so brilliant. And give it up for our guest again, Sherilyn Song. Thank you so much.
Thanks
for coming
so
to see
much
us.
for having me,
Appreciate
Tanya.
you.
Yeah, it's been lovely being here with you.
Thank you. Finished? I guess you finished?